Okay, now that you know what the assignment is, which is making an annotated bibliography, I'm going to show you how to get started with that. The first thing you know is how many sources that you need for this assignment. That is 6. You got to find 6 sources. And the assignment also asks for a variety of sources. In other words, where are you pulling these sources from? The variety is asking for 5. And we'll go over what that means here in just a second. You've also now know what makes a source credible and reliable. That is not Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not considered a credible or reliable source. So now that we know all this, we're going to find some sources for our annotated bibliography using the MacU library. Okay, so let's go to the MacU library homepage. And let's scroll down to see how to access the library. If I go to the main site, this is what I'm going to look at. I scroll down and I am going to access all library resources. Okay, it's going to refresh the page. I come back down and I have a list of magazines and journals, the Encyclopedia Britannica, Cengage Learning, Music Online. There's a lot of resources to be found in the library, to include full-length books. Let's go back up to the magazines and journals and click here on Select. It's with the Select button that we can see the different variety of sources that we can pull information from. Let's go over a list real quick of those different information sources. Now, I pulled this from some various websites earlier, but these are the variety of sources that we can pull information from. We can pull it from newspapers, magazines, academic journals, book or textbook, encyclopedia, multimedia, video or radio. Those are 2 different types of sources. A government report, it is different than an academic journal, for instance. A website is different than a magazine, a blog, message board, chat room. These are 10 variety of sources, and there's more than that. But these are 10 that you should be looking at to gather information from. The assignment, remember, asks you for 5. Well, let's go back to the website under magazines and journals. At this website, again, I'm going to pull the Select button here, and the first thing I see is ebook collection. Well, a book counts as one of the variety of sources, so let's go into that. I'm going to click Go. Now it's going to ask me for my access code to get into the library, and it's my student ID. So I'm going to enter my ID. You have to enter it twice. Then I'm going to log in. Okay. Now I'm at a site that is, you can see up here that I'm searching the ebook collection, and it's hosted by the EBSCO. Okay. Now we're looking for higher education is our category that we're looking for, and we can talk about how to narrow that down here in a second. But once I type in higher education, I get 474 results. Well, that's too many really for me to look at. So I want to narrow that topic down some to figure out, to find a smaller amount of books. So let's look at maybe the cost of higher education. So I add another category, and now I'm down to 9 books. So now that I'm down to the 9 books, let's take a look at the very first one. It has something to do with the cost of higher education. So I'm going to click on the book. And once I click on that book, this is the screen that I see upon clicking on that book. This description here is the abstract of the book. So I can read through the description to see if it's something that I'm might be interested in. And you'll notice that it highlights the search words that I've inputted. So one of them is cost. See, higher education cost. Cost-minded students and their families, public at large, questioning the worth of college education, and so on. Okay, well, that sounds like something that I might be interested in. So what I'm going to do now is over here, you see where it says PDF full text. I will click on the PDF so I can read the book online. I'm going to click on PDF full text. And you can see that the book appears. This is the online version of that book. Let's see if I can open this up just a little bit for you here. Okay, see the cover and the contents here. Part 1, students, cost, depending, debt. Well, that cost is what I'm really interested in. So let's click on cost. And it's going to bring me to Part 2, cost, spending, and debt. Well, I'm going to read through this. And the things that if I find something very interesting, I might end up using it. Let's say I do find it interesting. Well, the neat thing about using the library is the library is going to show me how to cite this book from this tab here. So I'm going to click Cite, and we use APA here. So I'm going to highlight this. We'll copy it. Okay, and then I've opened up a Word document earlier, and this is my draft. I'm going to paste it on there. And then I'm going to write my summary of the book, of what I'm going to use. And then I'm going to write an assessment of the book or article that I want to talk about. And then a reflection portion. Okay. Real quickly, the summary is going to be the bulk of the annotation. That's what I want to use. I might even throw some quotes in there. An assessment of how good the book is. Does it fit my needs? Is it reliable? That sort of thing. And a reflection on how I think I might use it in my annotation. At this point, I'm not so worried about how it's going to look. Remember, it's a draft. It's not the final version of what I'm going to use, but it's a draft, and it's one of 6 that I need to find. So let's go back to the library. I'm going to go back to New Search here, and I really need to go back to the library's website. So because I'm done searching for books, the next thing I want to search for is we'll use this Academic Search Complete. And this is going to help us find journal articles and magazines and other information sources. So type in higher education search, and you see that we have 292,000 articles available under higher education. Again, I'm more concerned about cost, so I'm down to 10,000. These are still quite a few text available, so I might pare it down a little bit more. And on this one, I'm going to put adult students, just to narrow the search down a little bit more to see what I might get. Well, 26. 26 is pretty good. 26 articles. Now, I can limit this down even further to, let's say, full text. I want to read full text only. So now I'm down to 18. So let's look at the very first one here. And it's the full text of it. Let's see, American Council on Education, Leadership and Advocacy. Okay, so it's definitely an article. It's an open letter to the president. So this would count as a source, not an academic source. It's not a magazine. It's not a newspaper. It's an open letter to the president. This is what it looks like. Part of the solution: adult students need higher education that works. Okay, so let's say I like that. I'm gonna use this source. So let me expand this out a little bit. You'll see over here on the side, it's these different tabs. Okay, over here. Well, I'm going to click the citation tab again. APA. I'm going to highlight it, copy it, put it in my Annotated Bibliography draft. Okay. And then again, I'm going to summarize what I want to use. I'm going to assess whether or not it's a good article or not, and then I'm going to reflect on how I might be able to use it in my paper. So now I have two of the 6 sources that I need. I'll continue to pull sources using this tab, and maybe some ones down below as well, such as newspaper source. It's an alternate source. Again, a variety: educational literature, psychological literature. I could go into Britannica, pull an article on the cost of higher education from there. There's different ways that I can pull sources, but I'm going to put it all on a draft, and then eventually I'm going to have eventually we're going to get to a product that looks similar to this. You can see that I'm looking at the title page of my annotated bibliography that I would turn in. Got the running head up here in the page number, the title of the full title of the work, my name, and Mid-America Christian University. I just realized that I don't have this full name here, but or the title on the second page. So I'm just going to copy it. As I scroll down, you can see Annotated Bibliography. And then because I want to have the title on the body of it, I'm going to enter it there right underneath. Okay, so when I've changed the draft that you saw earlier into what I'm going to turn in, notice the running head is no longer on page 2, again, APA format. I've got the reference listed here, a summary of the reference goes to about right there, and then an assessment of the reference, about like that, and then a reflection of the reference, how I might use it in a future paper. So it's one source. The next one is here, Bandura, and so on. And you can see that I have I've placed 7 sources on here and no reference page. Again, because the references are already placed in. Well, so that's it. How to gather sources for your annotated bibliography, how to put them on a draft sheet, and then what the final product's going to look like. If you have further questions, be sure to talk to your instructor. Use the resources that are available on the course site there. Other than that, good luck and you can do this. God bless.